Hi, today I want to talk about decluttering and how challenging it can be. It seems as though no one speaks about this aspect of it. The KonMari trend is really going strong because of her recent Netflix special. I was introduced to the concept of KonMari decluttering probably 2 years ago, and at the time I had a bit of a go at it, but it's such an involved process and such a thorough process that I found myself not seeing it through and just doing some cleaning and some decluttering, and then I kind of forgot about it because it's challenging, not just because it's time consuming. It's challenging mentally, emotionally, and I wanted to explore that now because a lot of people are going through this process of decluttering and cleaning up, and as a result of the show, including myself, the show really helped me to find a direction to move, find some structure to follow around the concept of decluttering, cleaning up, getting my space optimized for who I am, who I want to be. A friend of mine, the late great Tim Rohn, once referred to tidying up and having a clean environment as streamlining one's life, whereby you awaken in the morning and you go downstairs and you're not stepping over rugs or looking at clothes, and your kitchen, and you walk into your kitchen and it's clean, and the bowls and spoons are all ready for you, and there's no food lying around to revolt you subconsciously. And thereby his postulation was that thereby you can be much more successful in life because you're not being held back by, well, I'm going to say crap firstly, and then I'm going to say what else I was thinking, which is yesterday. You're not being held back by yesterday, by the detritus of yesterday's dinner, by the clutter and crud of last week. You're not tripping over your undies from 3 days ago, yesterday, holding back today. You're not dealing with the day-to-day, moment-to-moment business of being alive, and that taints your tomorrows. And therefore, when you're feeling held back by clutter, you're being held back by yesterday, by your lack of responding to the present moment yesterday. And that's the subject of my video today. I've spoken a lot about anxiety and a lot about techniques I've uncovered at becoming more present and letting go of pain and suffering and mental disturbance, which really is, in my personal thinking, a result of a feedback loop between not allowing oneself to simply flow through life, and it goes into the mind in a panic, and thereby the mind attempts to solve really what should be felt through, and that's, in my opinion, in my view, the essence of anxiety. So as I've gone through my process of decluttering and cleaning, I've found extreme anxiety arising, and I thought I'd put it to you like this. Yesterday, when we didn't respond well to the moment, we weren't living in a conscious and free way, and we left our pants on the floor, or we didn't clean the kitchen before we went to bed, or we left clutter on the living room floor, thereby providing tomorrow with detritus from our lack of coping. We are doing that, in my view, because of anxiety. Because in that moment, we are distracted from the present moment by something, and thereby not responding clearly and maturely and with love. And that sends that frustration through to tomorrow. So, when you're looking at your clutter, you aren't just looking at a pair of pants and some dishes in a sink and a grubby mark on the fridge door. You're looking at the manifestation of your frustration, my frustration, our lack of being completely happy. And that's why it's hard to clean up, because you're not just cleaning a scrubby mark on the fridge door. You're not just picking up stuff from the floor. In a way, in a very tangible way, in a subconscious way, you're dealing with the emotions that blocked you from doing it yesterday when you weren't coping with the present moment clearly. And my personal philosophy is that that's why it's hard. It's super hard to declutter, because it isn't just like la 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 la. I mean, it can be, but all too often it brings up just darkness, you know. And it's really easy to put off, because you know that you have to face psychology when you dive into that clutter. It's tough, and it's always enlightening at the other end. So my postulation today is very simply that the clutter and the undone jobs around are the physical manifestation of an inner state of frustration and anxiety and failure is a strong word, but I'm just saying, you know, at the time, a failure to respond to the present moment in a loving way and in a clear way. If you're responding clearly and lovingly, then yeah, you know, you quickly clean up. Oh, that was nice, because you're not cluttered internally. I've heard people say, your outer reality reflects your inner condition, and I get that. For me, you know, it's really hard to declutter. And when I do have a clear environment, I almost want it to get cluttered again. Do you identify with that? It's almost overwhelming to have a really clear environment, but it's necessary. As Tim said, if you want to be successful, clear your mind and clear your environment. Streamline. That's about all I wanted to say today. I also want to show you my garden, because it's coming along nice. It's growing good. I built this high quality enclosure to keep out the turkeys that would otherwise wreak havoc. So there's some lettuce, which is nearly going to seed, which is nice. I'll harvest some seed and replant. Tomatoes are coming along real good. So these aromas, obviously, they're gonna be ripening before we know it. Got some other tomatoes over here. I do need to weed and put down some mulch. But basically, I grow tomatoes, I grow lettuce and coriander, which is, I think that's coriander, but there's definitely some in here somewhere. Which, if I don't trust anyone that doesn't like coriander, frankly, it's sublime. That's not true. I trust you. You don't have to like coriander, alright? I'm still gonna be your friend. This pumpkin plant, which came from my compost heap and I did not plant, has just taken over, and I've got 7 little pumpkins growing on it already, which is super cool. All around. I probably expect there to be more before it's done. It's season, so that's fantastic. I really like that. This is where my liquid amber trees used to be. had to cut them down because it was too close to the house. I won't go into that, it broke my heart. Loved those trees. So my intention is, there's a baby one here, and here, and a couple of baby ones growing in the tiles. So my intention is to get at least one of these planted and have it planted in the ground when I buy a house, and my grandchildren can play in it. I can't wait for autumn. That's why I loved my trees. They were like an earth clock, a season clock. It connected me to this planet because I would look up and go, oh, a yellow leaf. I guess, you know, autumn's approaching. And, you know, as the leaves began to fall and trees started to become bare, I knew that winter was approaching. Similarly, I would look up and after a long winter and see some buds on the end of the leaves, and I would know on the ends of the branches rather, and I would know that soon we would have spring. I love having deciduous trees around me. It's such a connecting and grounding thing. So I look forward to having them again one day. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.